Welcome back to USA Coins 1, could turn into pure gold. Today's episode is dedicated to one of the most legendary coins in U.S. history, the 1982 Lincoln penny. This penny is far more than just a tiny piece of copper or zinc. It's a coin with a story, a coin with controversy, and a coin that has shocked collectors with its mature value in today's booming coin market. Yes, believe it or not, your 1982 Lincoln penny, if it's the right type, could be worth thousands and even into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So brace yourself and stay tuned, because we are about to go deep into the hidden value, rare varieties, market prices, and the powerful history behind the 1982 Lincoln penny. First, let's set the stage. The year 1982 was a turning point in U.S. coinage history, especially for the Lincoln penny. Until 1982, pennies were made primarily of 95% copper. But rising metal costs changed everything. The U.S. Mint faced a serious decision. The copper content in each penny had become more valuable than the penny itself. In other words, it cost more than 1 cent to mint a 1-cent coin. So in 1982, the Mint switched its plan. Instead of using solid copper, they changed the composition to zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. This change was monumental, and it created one of the most fascinating years in coin collecting history. Now you might be asking, so what makes that important? The 1982 penny comes in not 1, not 2, but 7 different varieties. That's right. Because of the transitional year and a mix of different dyes, materials, and mint marks, the 1982 penny exists in 2 compositions, copper and zinc, and in both large date and small date styles from both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Not all 1982 pennies are created equal. Some are common and worth only a few cents in most cases. But others are so rare that collectors have paid insane amounts of money, up to $18,000 and even higher. One rare 1982 small date copper penny sold for a staggering $18,000 in a private auction, and experts believe that few examples exist. Who knows, that same valuable penny could be hiding in your change jar right now. Let's dive deeper. When it comes to identifying a valuable 1982 penny, here's what counts most: the weight, the date style, and the mint mark. Copper pennies from 1982 weigh about 3.11 grams. Zinc pennies weigh just 2.5 grams. So if you have a 1982 penny and a coin scale, weigh it carefully, it might just reveal a hidden fortune. If that penny is a small date example, especially from Denver, meaning it has a little d under the date, you might be sitting on a very rare treasure. Now let's talk market value. The rarest 1982 Lincoln pennies in pristine condition have crossed astonishing price points. Some have touched values like $10,000, $15,000, and even as high as $898,959 in theoretical estimates for the finest known examples in gem mint state. That's right, close to $900,000 for a 1-cent coin. This is why collectors are going wild over this coin in today's market. Prices are surging, auctions are becoming more competitive, and demand is skyrocketing. Even average condition examples have risen steadily in value. A regular circulated 1982 penny might sell for a few bucks, but a certified uncirculated example, especially of a rare variety, can command hundreds or thousands. This is where understanding the history pays off. The 1982 penny marks the end of the copper era and the beginning of a new cost-cutting minting process in America. It tells the story of economics, changing industries, and how something as simple as a penny can reflect a changing nation. The Lincoln Memorial design used on the 1982 penny was already iconic, but the changes made that year turned the coin into a collectible phenomenon. Let's talk numbers again. If you're hunting down the rare 1982 small date copper penny, or the 1982 Philadelphia small date copper penny, you're targeting the most valuable of the group. In today's modern coin market, bidders have shown they're willing to go all in for graded examples. Top grade, certified examples from PCGS or NGC have pulled in jaw-dropping cash, and collectors are constantly searching rolls, old stashes, inheritance collections, and coin jars to find one of these coins. Because here's the truth, it could very well be that a genuine rare 1982 small date copper penny is still out there waiting to be found. And now, let's highlight one more thing: the current market. Right now, coin collectors are more active than ever. Penny collecting is booming, YouTube coin hunting is exploding, and millions of people are researching hidden rarities. That means that the demand for rare 1982 pennies is only growing. With high-value sales like $18,000 in the past and market speculation supporting figures as high as $898,959 for the absolute top-tier example, it's a no-brainer that the smartest move you can make right now is to check every 1982 penny you can find. Smart collectors don't rely on luck. They rely on knowledge. So here's what you should do tonight. Get a scale. Get every 1982 penny you have. Sort them by weight. Identify small dates and large dates. Look for that Denver mint mark. Once you've narrowed down your candidates, compare them with known diagnostics. Any penny that's a small date and weighs over 3 grams deserves to go straight to grading, because you may just have a monster prize on your hands. Remember, the world of coin collecting is filled with surprises. People have found coins worth thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, in penny rolls from the bank. It happens every year. And in the case of the 1982 Lincoln penny, the rarest examples are still being discovered today. So as we come to the end of today's massive deep dive, let's recap. 1982 was the only year of transition from copper to zinc in the Lincoln penny series. It gave us 7 varieties, including the insanely valuable small-date copper penny. Some are worth a few cents, but the right one might be worth as much as a house, a car, or your entire college tuition. And the current coin market is more excited than ever before. Values are rising, the hunt is alive, and the treasure is waiting. This is USA Coins 1, and we're here to keep sharing the greatest stories in US coin collecting. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more shocking discoveries and collector knowledge that could change your life. Check your change, dig into your savings jar, and always keep an eye on those pennies. Because in the world of coins, a tiny piece of metal can hold a world of value. Today we're exploring the iconic 1992 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent, a seemingly common penny that holds a surprising story and, in rare cases, extraordinary value. If you've got one sitting in your jar of pennies, you'll want to hear this. 1. The history and background. The coin in question is the 1992 Lincoln Cent struck at the United States Mint, Denver, hence the D mint mark. It belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse Series, 1959 to 2008, following the design by Frank Gasparo on the reverse and Victor David Brenner's obverse featuring President Abraham Lincoln. Here's what you need to know about its production and context. In 1992, the Denver Mint produced multiple billions of these pennies. The mintage is estimated at around 4.4 billion for the Denver 1992 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent coin. Week +1. The coin is made of copper-plated zinc, post-1982 composition specifically. About 97.5% zinc core with 2.5% copper plating. Use coinbook.com +1 on the obverse. You'll see Liberty, the date, 1992, mint mark D, and In God We Trust, above Lincoln's bust. On the reverse, United States of America, E pluribus unum, 1 cent, and the Lincoln Memorial. By itself, this date is a very common coin in circulation because of the large mintage and widespread use. So far, you might be thinking, great, but this is just a penny, right? Not quite. Because within this common issue lies a rare variety that changes everything. Point 2. The rare variety, close AM, versus wide AM, here's where things get interesting. The vast majority of 1992 D pennies you find will be the normal, standard variety, often referred to as the wide AM variety. But a tiny number of coins came from a die pairing that produced what's called the close AM variety, where the spacing between the letters A and M in America on the reverse is much narrower than usual. Use coinbook.com +2 coin identifier +2 key distinctions. On the normal, wide AM, reverse, the letters A and M of America have noticeably more space between them. On the rare close AM variety, that spacing is tight, almost touching, and other die details, like the distance of FG initials from the base of the Lincoln Memorial, differ. Usercoinbook.com. According to experts, the close AM die pairing was an unintentional mashup or die error, making the variety extremely scarce. CoinWeek +1. Because of this rarity, the close AM variety commands dramatically higher values, but only if the coin is authenticated, in strong condition, and certified by a grading service. Coin Identifier +1. What this teaches us: not all 1992D pennies are equal. The difference between just a penny and potential treasure may be in the tiny spacing between two letters. Always inspect your coins. 3. Market value and what it's worth. Now let's break the value down into two major categories: the common variety and the rare variety. Common variety, wide AM. According to numismatic reference guides, the common 1992D Lincoln cent is worth very little beyond face value if it's circulated and in average condition. For example, one source states the approximate value at 1 cent, i.e., 1 cent, for a typical circulated example. Sell rare coins +1 for uncirculated condition. Values still remain modest for the wide AM variety. One guide indicates that paying anything significantly above $1 to $10 for a standard mint state coin may be overpaying. CoinWeek rare variety, close AM. Now the exciting part: for the close AM variety, the values skyrocket, but only for those in high grade and certified. According to the reference from USA Coin Book, an uncirculated, MS Plus, 1992D close AM can be worth $12,030 or more. Usercoinbook.com recent auction data, May 2025, from CoinWeek shows MS 64 examples of the 1992D close AM sold for roughly $3,000 to $4,000. CoinWeek MS 66 grade coins have sold for $9,600 plus and even $12,000 plus. CoinWeek. So, if you have a genuine 1992D close AM that is uncirculated and beautifully preserved, you could be looking at thousands of dollars in value, not just 1 cent. Important caveats: grading matters. A certified coin by a major grading service, e.g., Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, is far more valuable than an uncertified example. Condition is everything. Even a rare variety in poor condition, heavy wear, damage, cleaning, will not attract top dollar, trustworthy identification. Because the close AM variety is so sought after, many sellers may misidentify coins or overstate their value. Reference guides recommend buying from specialists. CoinWeek +1 market fluctuations. Values for rare coins can move up or down depending on collector demand, economic conditions, and auction results. Point 4. Why this coin matters. The collecting story. Why has the 1992D Lincoln cent achieved such interest by collectors? There are several facets to the story. Ultra-low provenance of the rare variety. Despite billions of the regular 1992D coins being produced, the close AM die pairing is known to exist in only very small quantities. Discovery and identification of the variety took years, and thus it carries a mystique of hidden gem. CoinWeek. That contrast, common coin, rare variety, creates an ideal condition for collecting, accessible enough that someone might find it, yet rare enough to create excitement. Numismatic interest in varieties and errors. Varieties, like close AM, and errors always draw collector attention. A coin that appears ordinary but has a subtle difference becomes a treasure hunt item. Guides increasingly emphasize that what makes a coin valuable isn't just age, but uniqueness and scarcity. Coin Identifier. Thus the 1992D close AM has become a must-know coin for 20th century modern Lincoln cent collectors. The "what if I found it in my pocket" factor. One of the reasons that these videos and articles gain traction is this: what if you found this coin by accident in your pocket change? While most 1992D pennies are of low value, the possibility that one could be the rare variety adds thrill. It reminds us that coin collecting isn't only about antique coins from the 1800s, even modern coins can hide surprises. Preservation of American coinage beyond value. Coins like this tell stories: the large-scale mass production of everyday currency, the unnoticed minting anomalies, the subtle die changes. They are part of the fabric of U.S. coinage history. The 1992 D Lincoln cent is emblematic of late 20th century U.S. small cent production, and collectors revering it are preserving that chapter of the story. Point 5. How to examine your coin, step by step. If you've got a 1992 D penny, here's how to check if you might have the rare variety. Make sure you work under good lighting with magnification, a 10x loupe or good camera macro mode, and compare to quality reference images. Step 1. Confirm it's the 1992 D Lincoln Memorial cent obverse. Date equals 1992, mint mark equals D underneath the date, for Denver, reverse, Lincoln Memorial with United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent. Composition, post, 1982 copper-plated zinc. Step 2. Identify the reverse lettering, America, spacing, look at the letters A and M in America. On the reverse. Are they unusually close together, close AM, or the standard wider spacing, wide AM? Look at where the engraver's initials, FG, for Frank Gasparo, appear relative to the Lincoln Memorial base. On the close AM variety they may be further away. Usecoinbook.com. Step 3. Inspect condition and signs of wear, cleaning or damage. Is the coin uncirculated, no wear on the high points? Today we're diving deep into a coin that at first glance looks ordinary, but as any serious collector will tell you, sometimes the ordinary hides interesting details, and sometimes those details matter. We're talking about the 1993 D Lincoln cent, minted in Denver, modern, common in many roles, but still with a story worth knowing and a market to watch. History and background. The 1 cent piece of the United States, often called the penny, has a long pedigree. The current design, the Lincoln cent, features President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and has been in continuous production since 1909. Wikipedia +1. In 1993, the U.S. Mint struck the Lincoln cent at multiple facilities, including the Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark. It is composed of copper-plated zinc, since 1982, with a diameter of 19.05 mm and a weight of about 2.5 grams. Sell rare coins +1. The 1993 D coin was made for regular circulation, which means millions were minted, and under typical conditions, many of these coins are still around today. Collections of modern Lincoln cents often include this date and mint. Sell rare coins +1. Why it matters, even though it's common? You might ask, if so many exist, why bother? Why talk about the 1993 D penny? There are a few reasons. Modern collecting interest. Even though older coins tend to draw most headlines, modern cents like the 1993 D have collecting value, especially in high grades, uncirculated, pristine condition, or with special error/variety features. Condition matters a lot. A coin that looks just used will fetch its face value, 1 cent, or maybe a bit more. But if you find one in virtually perfect condition, graded, with full original mint luster, then the premium can be meaningful. Varieties and errors. Sometimes even a common date like 1993 D can surprise if you spot a die variety, a mint error, or unusual feature. These special finds fall into, if you know what you are looking for, territory. What is the current market value? Here's the cold, hard truth. For the typical 1993 D Lincoln cent found in circulation, the value is basically face value, or a little more if in excellent condition. According to one source, common and will trade for face value. Sell rare coins. Another value guide shows for the 1993 D ungraded, circulated examples, a few dollars at best. Price charting. For example, at MS, mint state, grade 66, around $13.85. Price charting for MS 68 or above, the value jumps significantly, but such coins are extremely rare for this date. Price charting. In fact, one auction record, a 1993 D Lincoln cent graded MS 69 sold for $4,600. PCGS. So while you could see high values, those are for coins in exceptional, near-perfect condition, duly graded and authenticated. Let me emphasize, if you just have a rolled 1993 D in your pocket change, you're most likely looking at 1 cent or slightly above. The worth a lot scenario only applies if condition, grading, and rarity all align. what to look for if you have one. Since this coin has a wide range of value depending on condition and details, here are what to check. Mint mark D under the date shows Denver Mint. Date and lettering clarity. Are the letters sharp? Is the surface free of heavy wear, dings, scratches or corrosion? Color/toning. Many zinc-plated pennies will show wear. Copper plating can fade or discolor. Coins that retain strong, red, original copper glow are more desirable. Luster and strike quality. Uncirculated coins show mint shine, crisp detail. Circulation tends to dull and flatten features. Errors or varieties. Look for oddities, doubling of letters, close AM, on older years, misstrikes, planchet anomalies. While rare for the 1993 D, you never know until you look closely. Grading and certification. If you believe you have one in top condition, submitting to a grading service like Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can validate it and significantly affect value. My advice for collectors and investors: because you run the channel USA Coins 1 and your audience expects deep insight, here are some tips to share. Today we're diving deep into one of those coins you might casually pass by in your change, but one that can actually hide some serious value, the 1995 Lincoln penny. Not just any ordinary penny, this coin carries the legacy of one of America's most iconic presidents, plus the thrill of what if your penny is worth a lot more than 1 cent? Let's unwrap the story, the history, the market today, and exactly how you can spot a potential gem. So, grab your magnifier, settle in, and let's explore this fascinating piece of numismatic treasure. The story behind the coin. The coin we're talking about is from the Lincoln Memorial series of 1-cent coins in the United States, which feature Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. In 1995, the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, marked D, and San Francisco Mint, marked S, struck Lincoln cents as a part of regular circulation. According to numismatic guides, the 1995 D, Denver, 1 cent had a mintage of about 7,128,560,000 coins. APMEX +2 coin identifier +2. The coin's composition is typical of that era, primarily zinc with a thin copper plating. Sell rare coins +1. So when you pick up a 1995 penny, you're holding a mass-produced coin. Not inherently rare, but, and here's the exciting part, some of these pennies have special characteristics or conditions that make them far more valuable than their face value. What makes the 1995 penny interesting? Here's where the thrill begins. Even though the base 1995 penny is common, collectors have identified varieties and error coins from that year that can command significantly higher prices. Let's break down the key factors, varieties and errors. A major one is the double die obverse, DDO. This is when the obverse, front, of the coin has visible doubling of letters, date or design elements. For example, the letters in Liberty or In God We Trust show a shadow or secondary strike. These varieties are rarer and more sought after. Coin identifier +1. Another is the close AM variety. On the reverse, in America, the letters A and M appear closer together than usual. That subtle difference can make a difference in value. Coin identifier +1. General condition matters hugely. A coin in mint state, MS, grade, especially uncirculated and with beautiful red luster, RD, designation, will always be much more valuable than a worn circulation example. For a normal 1995 D Lincoln cent, values in MS64, MS65 range are just a few dollars. APMEX +1. So what does this mean for you? If you find a 1995 Lincoln cent in your change, check for any of these markers: mint mark, D or none, any visible doubling, close AM spacing, exceptional condition, no wear, full copper color, and ideally certification by a grading service if you think it's valuable. Current market values, as of today. Now let's talk numbers. If you're hearing something like $898,956, beware. That would be exceptionally rare and not representative of the typical 1995 Lincoln penny. Most 1995 pennies are much more modest in value. Here's the breakdown: a regular 1995 D Lincoln cent in circulated condition might sell for its face value, 1 cent, or maybe up to $1 or $2 depending on condition. eBay A 1995 or 1995 D in uncirculated condition, MS60, MS63, might be in the region of $5 to $25 or so. For example, one guide shows MS65RD for the 1995, no mint mark, around $35 to $100 plus. Coin identifier +1 for the exceptional varieties, say a certified MS67 or MS68 with DDO or other major error, the auction records climb significantly. According to one detailed guide, the 1995, no mint mark, with DDO in MS67RD could hit $300 to $800 or more. As high as auction records near $2,760 for MS69RD have been cited. Coin identifier for the 1995 D normal strike, even MS67RD values may still be in the hundreds at best, not hundreds of thousands. For instance, the Graysheet Index lists high wholesale values for top certified coins, but nothing near $900,000 for the typical variety. Graysheet therefore, if someone is quoting your 1995 Lincoln penny as being worth $898,956, you will need extraordinary proof, an extremely rare variety, top certification grade, MS69 or MS70, exceptional condition, and a recognized market sale for that level. For 99.9% of coins from that year, the value will be far less. Why the discrepancy between face value and collector value? Why does one penny from 1995 have a massive relative valuation difference compared to circulation value? A few reasons: rarity in condition. While millions were struck, few remain in high-grade, pristine condition. The journey of coins through pockets, machines, change means that uncirculated specimens shrink in number over time, varieties and errors. When coins have minting anomalies, like DDO, close AM, off-center strikes, they become different coins and therefore more collectible. Collector demand plus certification. A coin that's graded and slabbed by a major service, e.g., Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, sells more confidently. Strong eye appeal, full red surfaces, in copper coins, add premium value, market visibility. When auction results for rare examples become known, they drive up interest. But note, just because one outlier sold for a big amount doesn't mean all coins from that year automatically fetch that price. What this means for you, as a collector or finder, since your channel is USA Coins 1, here are practical tips for you and your viewers. Always check mint mark. For 1995 pennies you'll see either no mark, Philadelphia, or a D for Denver. Inspect condition. Sharp detail on Lincoln's bust, no heavy wear, ideally retain full copper/red color, no major scratches or cleaning. Signs: use a loupe or magnifier, look for doubling in letters, Liberty, In God We Trust, and any anomalies, verify spacing on reverse, compare AM, in America, spacing, close AM varieties are collectible. If you believe you have a rare variety or high grade, consider submitting to a grading service for authentication and slab certification. For most 1995 pennies found in change, unless you see something unusual, the realistic value is modest, possibly a few cents to a few dollars for nice. Uncirculated condition. Don't automatically expect hundreds of thousands. Educate your audience, show them how to differentiate normal from special, and stress condition and verification matter. Today on USA Coins 1 we're diving deep into one of the most common yet often misunderstood coins in your pocket, the 2002 D Lincoln Memorial Penny. We'll cover its history, design, minting details, condition factors, and, most importantly, what it's worth today. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about change you find, this video has something for you. Point 1. A brief history and background. Let's rewind to the year 2002. The coin in question is part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, originally inaugurated in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln. By 2002 the design in use was the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, which had been in place since 1959, and the obverse still showed Lincoln's portrait. Now, the D mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The 2002 D variant is particularly abundant. The mintage at Denver for that year was 4,028,055,000 pieces. Usercoinbook.com +3 PCGS +3 Wikipedia +3 In short, although we're discussing something that might seem ordinary, the story still matters. Knowing the context helps you spot when something is not ordinary. Point 2. Design and technical specifications. Here are the key specs. Year: 2002. Mint mark, D, Denver, series, Lincoln Memorial Cent, 1959 to 2008, composition, post, 1982. Pennies are copper-plated zinc. As noted by trusted sources, the 2002 D is copper-plated zinc. APMEX +1 diameter, 19.00 mm weight, 2.50 grams, for modern zinc cents. PCGS on the obverse, image of Lincoln, wording, "In God We Trust, Liberty," the date and the mint mark, D. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial Design. So when you hold one of these pennies, remember, you're holding a piece of American coinage with billions minted, yet each coin has its story. Point 3. Why collect the 2002 D? Now you may ask, it's so common, is it really worth collecting? The answer, yes, especially if you pay attention to condition, varieties, or errors. Let's break down what makes this coin interesting. Because of the huge mintage, typical circulated 2002 D pennies are extremely common and worth only face value or slightly above. For example, for typical condition coins, no premium is paid. Sell rare coins +1, but if you find examples in high grades, uncirculated, red color, RD, finish, or coins with errors/varieties, they become much more interesting. For example, coins graded MS65 or higher can fetch higher prices. Coin value checker +1 for collectors building complete sets. The 2002 D is an essential piece because it represents one of the largest mintages of the Lincoln series, and understanding it builds your knowledge of modern penny collecting. Point 4. Current market value. What is it really worth? Here comes the juicy part. What can you expect today if you have a 2002 D Lincoln penny? Let's examine realistic market values for circulated condition, coins that have spent time in pockets, with where according to multiple price guides, these coins are typically worth face value, about 1 cent, because they are so common. Sell rare coins +1 for uncirculated condition, especially those in red, RD, finish, meaning original red copper color not faded to brown, the values start increasing. For example, at MS65, nice uncirculated red piece, a value around US $10 is listed. Coin value checker +1 at MS67 or MS68, top tier uncirculated, some price guides show around US $30 to $40 or more, depending on eye appeal and grading. Price charting +1 auction record, a coin graded MS69 sold for US $376 in 2015 according to a numismatic site. PCGS +1. So the bottom line, unless your coin is top grade or error variety, you're looking at values from essentially face value up to maybe tens of dollars, not hundreds or thousands, for the standard strike. This means that if you have one in average condition, it's still a great coin for the collection, but it's not a gold mine. That I should mention, you referenced $898.955 in your request. Maybe you meant $898.95 or $0.898.955, which doesn't parse easily. But the real market value studies do not show standard 2002 D pennies at nearly $900 in normal condition. Unless that coin has a very rare error or is graded extremely high, and even then $900 is extremely optimistic. Point 5. What to look for: grading, condition and errors. If you're holding a 2002 D and wondering whether yours is special, here's a checklist. Condition matters a lot. Coins are graded by condition. Key terms: circulated, shows wear, perhaps loss of original red color, surface marks, uncirculated, MS/MS60 and above, no wear on surfaces, sharp details, good luster, red, RD, versus red-brown, RB, versus brown, BN. For modern copper-plated zinc cents, the red, original copper color is most desirable if intact. If the coin has lost that red tone and turned brown or dull, the value falls. Many modern cents are brown or reddish-brown. Grading services like PCGS and NGC certify coins with grades like MS65, MS67, etc. For the 2002 D, PCGS lists a number 3175 entry and notes an auction record of $376 for an MS69. PCGS errors or varieties to watch for. Though the standard 2002 D is common, if you find something unusual you could indeed have something worth a lot more. Errors such as clipped planchets, broad strikes, strike-throughs, where a foreign material interfered with the striking, can command significant premiums. For example, one 2002 D Lincoln penny with a grease struck through error sold for $775 in 2006. Coin Value Checker. Today we're diving deep into the story of the 2004 D Lincoln Memorial Cent, also known as the Liberty 2004 D penny, its history, its place in the coin collecting world, its composition, what has happened to its value, what the market currently says, and whether it really is worth a lot of money. So sit back, grab a magnifying glass, if you've got one, and let's explore point 1. Introduction and historical background. The 1-cent coin featuring President Abraham Lincoln has a long and storied life. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909, but fast forward to 2004, and the design on the yet circulating cent still featured the Lincoln bust on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse. This 2004 design came long after the original wheat penny era and long before the shield reverse introduced in 2010. The coin in question, minted in Denver, that's the D mint mark, in 2004, making it the 2004 D Lincoln Memorial Cent. Its official composition after 1982, and thus for the 2004 coin, is a thin copper plating over a zinc core, roughly 2.5 grams in weight, diameter about 19 millimeters, usercoinbook.com +1 in terms of mintage. This was not a rare coin at all. The Denver Mint produced about 3,456,400,000 of these 2004 D pennies. Usercoinbook.com. Basically, billions and billions were made. So from a purely rarity standpoint, very common. Point 2. The 2004 D penny. Technical specifications. Let's cover the technical details so you know what to look for. Year, 2004 mint mark, D, Denver, composition, 97.5% zinc with 2.5% copper plating, common after 1982, usercoinbook.com +1 weight, 2.5 grams usercoinbook.com +1 diameter, 19.00 mm usercoinbook.com reverse, Lincoln Memorial Building, the design that was used from 1959 to 2008, minting quantity, about 3.4564 billion at Denver for 2004 D, usercoinbook.com. So you can imagine, this wasn't a special low mintage coin, it was an everyday penny at the time, made for circulation. Because of that, most of these ended up circulating, getting worn, mixed in piggy banks, change jars, etc. 3. What drives value in Lincoln pennies? Before we talk about the specific value of the 2004 D penny, it's helpful to know what factors make a Lincoln penny valuable. Here are the key drivers: rarity/mintage, fewer coins produced equals higher potential value, condition/grade, coins that never circulated, have full original luster, sharp details, minimal marks, will be far more valuable, mint mark/variety, some mint marks are rarer, also coins with mint errors, double dies, off-centers, missing mint marks etc., can be tremendously more valuable. Coin Value Checker +1 demand/collector interest. Some years/mints are more sought after because of historical interest, error types, or because they fill a set, metal content. For very old pennies, copper content may contribute, but for modern zinc core pennies, metal value is minimal. Certification/grading. Coins graded by professional services, like PCGS, NGC, and encapsulated get higher trust and often higher prices. Understanding those helps us interpret the value of the 2004 D.4. The current value of the 2004 D Lincoln penny. Now let's talk about this specific coin, the 2004 D Lincoln Memorial Cent. You might have heard rumors or claims that it's worth a lot of money, perhaps even $.898.955, which seems to be a claim of $898.955. But what do the actual references say? According to one source, for average circulated condition, the coin is worth essentially face value, 1 cent. Sell rare coins +1 for uncirculated mint state examples. One source lists a value around 36 cents or more in MS, mint state, condition. Usecoinbook.com. Another source suggests high mint state coins, raw/ungraded, might bring up to $2.83 in auction for MS+. Cointrackers.com. Bottom line, for the vast majority of 2004 pennies, the market value is negligible, just above face value, unless you have something extraordinarily special, e.g., a graded MS-69 or error coin. Because of the huge mintage and general circulation, the typical coin is common. So the claim of worth $898.955, or about $898.95, would only be realistic if the coin is exceptionally rare, of superb grade, or has an error or variety that is highly collectible. Otherwise, that value is not aligned with the general market. 5. What would make a 2004 penny worth a lot, given the baseline values? When could a 2004 Lincoln be worth a lot? Here are scenarios: if the coin is graded and certified by a major grading company, PCGS, NGC, in extremely high grade, MS-68 or MS-69 perhaps, with perfect surfaces, full mint luster, no marks, that will raise value. Some sources hint MS-69 examples of 2004 may bring hundreds of dollars, or more, but these are extremely rare. Cointrackers.com. If the coin has a recognized error or variety that is listed and documented, for example, double die, missing mint mark, off-center strike, planchet error. Those error coins can dramatically change the value upward. If the coin is part of an extremely small subgroup, e.g., proof or special strike, or a key variety that has only a few survivors. If market demand changes, collector interest spikes, and this particular year/mint becomes more sought after for some reason, without one of those special features, the coin remains common and holds only nominal premium above face value.